And then there's that Japanese kid, man. I don't know if you've seen him. He's probably the one that saved the show when the last turkey event here in New York. You know, kid, I don't remember his brother's name. His brother's super super good too. I've seen him fight twice in Japan. But this Japanese kid, I think, he has he. I mean, he's been on the two biggest cards in New York. So, I think Turkey has a lot of plans for him. It's a good card, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, let's talk about the main event. Edgar Berlanga, we're in his hometown, fighting Shiraz. I mean, a Turkey guy, and Edgar's kind of like, you know, uh, he kind of spoke about that a little bit. He's guy. So, what do you feel about that fight? And also when it comes down to Edgar, do you think he can get a decision?
Edgar. I mean, yeah, he's in his hometown. He has the skills to fight. But my advice to Edgar is don't listen to whose guy he is. Same thing. With us, every people doing interviews. Oh no, Shakur's Turkey's guy. At the end of the day, Turkey ain't getting in there. At the end of the day, I'm not getting in there. At the end of the day, Wally Moses is not getting in there. At the end of the day, these guys' coaches are not getting in there. It's these two guys, and they just got to go out there and perform, man, and give the fans what Turkey paid for. You know what I'm saying? What Turkey paid for, give the fans. We don't want what happened the last show here in New York to repeat itself. Shit. Win, lose, draw, but give it your best. Give the fans what they deserve.
When you hear Turkey talk about this Tom and Jerry style of boxing, right? And looking at this card per se, and then what we just witnessed in Times Square, do you feel like this is kind of avoiding that void for the boxing fans? That it's like, I'm putting this banger card because I know that we're not going to get what we had in the Times Square card.
Well, I know this card was done before that happened. But I believe that Turkey is securing himself, and he don't ever, or us don't ever want to ever see another card like that again in our life. Um, but I mean, this card was already done beforehand. But I'm thinking that he's probably on his way here now in his airplane, laying down somewhere on there and thinking, man, I got a good card, and hopefully this don't happen.
What do you think about his comments on Twitter talking about, shrinking the ring and stuff like that, particular, with the fight that you guys have going on?
I don't believe it. I don't know how you can do that, or what's gonna do it. Like Williams not even looking at social media and stuff right now. But I mean, how do you shrink rings, or how do you between rounds? I'm thinking he's using a strategic, thing where he's saying, because both, with us, Suriel Matias, um, Camarón Cepeda, the Japanese guy, they're pressure fighters. So I believe that he's talking about as the rounds go down, as the rounds go, it's probably going to get a little, but yeah, somebody asked me that today. In what rounds are the rings going to shrink? And I was like, what do you? I hadn't even heard about it till they showed me, and I'm like, I mean, I don't know. I've never heard of that. So I mean, I don't know what if he's having an electric ring in there or what's going to happen. So
You think he specifically was trying to get into Shakur's head? Like, don't get any ideas when it comes to this fight?
nah, no, I just think I don't. I mean, I don't even know what to think, man. What Turkey, if he even says that, man, media is so crazy. I don't even know if he's the one who said that. What happened? Somebody posted something, and then everybody reposts it, and then everybody redoes something. So I mean, I don't even know if he really said that or not. But I mean, I'll let you know on July 12th when I go, and I'm gonna look for remote controls and stuff somewhere, see if the ring's gonna get smaller or what.
Do you feel like Shakur's gonna be in that mid range throughout the fight, or do you feel like you guys are gonna have to hunt him down?
Listen, man, a lot of people talk about Shakur running and doing this type of stuff, and they try. Shakur's a great fighter, man, and he knows he knows how to fight, and he knows when to fight, and he knows. But I also know Shakur, man, and I also traveled with him, to many countries, and when it was time to, like, it was time to bite down, Shakur would bite down, and I think he has something to prove, to his fans. He has a fighter that's coming to fight, that's not going to run from him, so So I mean, I believe there's going to be minutes. There's going to be moments in the fight where Shakur is going to stand his ground, and he's gonna sit there and fight.
What did you take from the Josh Padley fight in Saudi Arabia?
I mean, listen, I think we had this interview before. As a coach, you prepare for a certain individual. He prepared for Kid Schofield, you know, and you say, oh no, yeah, but he fought a whatever, what that guy was, a plumber, electrician, or whatever. You, oh no, he fought this, yeah, but at the end of the day, he fought someone that he was not prepared for. He fought someone that he was not stylistically training for, you know. So of course, that's happened to us before. You know, one time we fought in Tijuana, Mexico, and we were supposed to fight Rene Alvarado at that time, and Rene Alvarado's visa got denied, you know, to come to Mexico, or they got him in Mexico and send him back. And we fought a guy that they called like 6 days before, something like that. You know, that was probably Williams' worst fight in his whole career. You know, he had a point deducted. You know, there was a moment where he fell, where he tripped. They counted it as a knockdown. You know, a bunch of stuff. So I mean, you know, I believe it has a lot to do with that. You know, stylistically, he was preparing for a Schofield, and he ended up fighting a guy that had nothing to do with the style, and makes you get confused.
Right, right. What about the times that he was shaking his hands? What do you think about the healing process of between, when he, got operated till this fight now? Do you feel like that could be an advantage point?
No, I don't think so, because I believe that if he feels that he wasn't ready or he wasn't healed, he wouldn't have took this fight. You I know I wouldn't have if my fighter was not 100% or 90%. To to fight. So I mean, I'm coming here. We're coming here to face the best Shakur Stevenson of the world. The best, the best. We're not about him. This about him cutting off the ring. We're not worried about it. We train to fight Shakur Stevenson, the three-time world champion.
You was talking a little bit about some of his guys that he's faced, and William Zepeda, and obviously one of those questions, obviously for people will be, is this going to be the toughest task for Shakur? Is this the toughest guy he's been in the ring with? I forget what your answer to that was. You said something about he has faced people tougher. Did you say that?
Not than William. That he's had better opposition than William has had. I'm talking
Okay.
about but I believe that it's going to be. Yeah, but I believe that William is his toughest test, and I believe that Shakur's our toughest test.
Is William his toughest test?
Relentless, a guy that's hungry, a guy that doesn't know fame, a guy that's not going to be starstruck, a guy that's not going to, that he doesn't care about, what his color of his shorts look like, if they're designer trunks, if they're this type of stuff. He just knows he has an opportunity to go in there and fight for the world title, something that he's dreamed as a kid. He's relentless, he's hungry, he throws a lot of punches, he's well trained. He has good conditioning. He eats right. He don't drink. He don't smoke. He don't party. He's not on TMZ. Doing bad shit. He's on there. He's just a guy that's well prepared and that's coming in here to give Shakur Stevenson a fight of his life.
Could the body work be the key to victory in this fight for you guys?
Can what?
Can the body work be the key to victory in this fight?
Yeah, I believe that is the key to victory. You got to try to slow a guy down who has great ability, who has a great IQ. Not only the body work, just continue to be in his face, just continue to try and wear him down. That's the thing. But we also know, man, that Shakur, these two guys are elite fighters in there.
Right, right, 100%.